Okay, hi everyone. So this is the video for how to cook the healing kitchari, which is going to be the main part of your detox program. So I thought I'd just go through it with you so you're clear on how to do it. You can find many videos online, but I thought maybe just show you this once because you'll be cooking it each day. And it's good to make food fresh because food loses its energy and vitality the longer it's left. So ideally, food should be eaten within 24 hours of cooking. So it's kind of maybe even you have to get up early to cook or cook in the evening, so that it's fresh each time for your meal, because then you'll get the most out of this detox. The more you have fresh, vital food, the more impact it's going to have. So let's look at some of the ingredients. So we've got, this is the, let me adjust the video a little bit. So this is the yellow mung dal and basmati rice that has been soaked overnight and then washed a few times to get rid of the sort of foaminess, and that's ready to be used now. And then I've got some chopped ginger, which you skin, you take the skin off, and then I chopped finely into little pieces. And then we've got the herbs that we're using. So we've got turmeric powder and fennel seeds and cumin seeds, all fresh. Make sure they're in date because the fresher they are, the more potency they have. And then the oil that we're going to use. So I'm going to use ghee, clarified butter, which is one of the main ayurvedic oils used. It tolerates heat and it's really nourishing for you. But if you're a vegan or you don't feel like using that, you could use like a good quality sunflower oil. This is a really good quality oil because it's resistant to heat, because a lot of oils are affected by heat. So this, that's a good quality sunflower oil, or you could use olive oil. But I'm going to use ghee because ghee is really good for you and it stimulates your digestive fire. And even though it's clarified butter, it actually can help with weight loss because it stimulates your agni, your digestive fire, and your metabolism. So, and I've already got a kettle filled and boiled, so that's ready to go. So let's get started. Let me bring you over here so you can have a better idea of what's going on. So over by the saucepan, and I'm going to now put in some ghee. That's the first thing we're going to do. I'm going to put the flame on. Hope you can see okay there. There we go, that's a little bit better, isn't it? Let's put some ghee in. And I'll show you the first stage and then the rest is just cooking. So I'm putting a good spoon of ghee, probably about a tablespoon, a dessert spoon to a tablespoon. And we're going to let that melt. And this, what I'm cooking now is probably going to be enough for your day, you know, if you have it for 2 meals. But as I said, it's best to keep it as fresh as possible so that don't cook a whole batch and just have that for the week, ideally, because that won't have the same effect for your detox. So let me lower the flame. You see how it's steaming a bit? I'm going to lower the flame because you don't want to burn the spices. So I'm just going to get that hot. That's really important when you do Indian cooking. You don't want to burn the spices. You want, and you make sure that the oil is not too hot. So if it's really smoky, you know that your oil is too hot. So I'm going to turn it down a little bit more. Okay, now I'm going to add my spices. So the first thing you add is always the seeds. So I'm going to add my teaspoon of cumin seed, my teaspoon of fennel seed, and maybe I'm going to put the flame just a tiny bit higher, but you want to be careful that they don't burn. And I'll mix them in with the ghee. So you've got your seeds there warming up. And what you want to do with the seeds is just to get them slightly browned. You don't want to burn them, so that's why you have to be careful the flame's not too high. Now what's good about cumin is one of the best digestive spices, and so are fennel. They help with absorption, digestion, and just really good during a detox to sort of aid, you know, and stimulate a bit your digestive fire. So let's just a little bit brown those. You can see, you can start to smell them when they start to cook. So you can see nicely cooking. Okay. So now, after probably a minute or two, you'll see them, you'll start to smell them, you'll see them browning a little bit. I'm just going to give it just a few more seconds. You don't have to keep stirring it like me, but sometimes it's good to mix them around. Now, this is the point. After your seeds, this is where you add your fresh seeds. So I'm going to add the ginger, the fresh ginger. Now, in the yoga tradition, we don't eat onion and garlic because it has a sort of stimulating effect on the mind. It makes the mind a bit more agitated. But if you wanted to add onion and garlic, that's up to you. This is the point that you'd add your onion and garlic at the time that you add the ginger. And I'm just going to mix that in just for a few seconds. You've got the ginger, your cumin, your fennel. You just stir that around. And then the last thing you add is your powders. Okay? Powders burn the quickest, so I'm going to add them at the end. That's traditionally what you do. So I'm going to take like a teaspoon, quite a large teaspoon of turmeric, and I'm going to put that in. I'm going to mix that in. Now I also have some freshly ground coriander powder that I ground myself. Well, basically I dry roasted the coriander seeds and then I ground them into a powder in my coffee grinder. I bought a coffee grinder, not because I drink coffee, but to grind up seeds into powders. So I'm going to add just a teaspoon or so of my ground coriander powder, but you don't have to do that. The coriander is really good for digestion. And we're going to stir them. And that's it. Now we've prepared the spices. You see it's all nicely. Now I'm going to add my washed and prepared soaked dal and rice. Let's take the spoon out. Let's add them into the saucepan. Okay, and then we mix it in with the spices so that everything's sort of coated. Okay, and the whole time make sure the flame isn't too high. Mix it in nicely with the spices so everything's mixed in well. Now this is the point, once we've mixed it in well, where we add the boiled water. So a mug this size, oh look, there's my partner Paul with his son. A mug this size would be probably about 4 portions of Kitchari. So, and you normally add about 3 to 4. So 1 mug of mixed dal and rice, you'd add about 3 to 4 the amounts of boiled water. So, and if you wanted it a little bit more liquidy, you could add more boiled water. So I'm going to add like 4 cups of this. You know, once you prepared it a few times, you kind of get used to the measurements. You don't actually have to measure it out. Okay, so that's the water added. Now I'm going to put the flame up so that it comes to the boil. Mix it in nicely, and I'm going to add some salt. So I'm going to add couple of teaspoons of salt because I'm making a little bit more probably than you'll be making. And actually salt, you don't want food really salty, but a little bit of saltiness can actually stimulate digestion if you have a sluggish digestion. If you have a really fiery digestion and a bit of acidity normally, then you probably want to put less salt. And I mix that in. And I'm also going to add a little bit of black pepper, also a really good digestive spice. Once again, you want to be careful on the black pepper if you have a tendency to sort of a slightly high digestive fire, meaning that you may have a tendency to acidity or burning in your belly, you want to put maybe a bit less salt on black pepper. And we mix it up. And then once it comes to the boil, we're just gonna let it cook probably for about 30 to 40 minutes on a low simmer. And if you find that you need to add a bit more boiled water, you can just add it if you need a little bit more, if all the water gets absorbed. And that's it really, and then it'll be ready. But so I'm going to stop the video now, and then I'm going to show you how it comes out at the end. So let's pause the video and I'll show you how it comes out near the end. Okay, so hi again. I had a little pause there, and I just wanted to show you the midway stage, and it's nicely simmering on a low simmer and gradually absorbing the water, and all going well there. But just while you have this little mid break, I wanted to show you, I'm doing the Kitchari here with yellow mung dal and basmati rice, but you could do it with whole green mung dal. In fact, I would more often do it with the whole green mung dal, or like one day whole green mung dal, one day the yellow mung dal. And the yellow mung dal, just to be really sure, yellow mung dal is not yellow split peas, it's not red lentils, it is yellow mung dal. And you can, this is a good make, Natco. You can buy it online or even Tesco's in the kind of Asian, Indian aisle, or you can also buy it in any good Indian shop. I know that in Bromley, if you're living in Bromley, there's some really good Indian shops, and on Bromley Road, Bromley Hill, going towards Catford and Lewisham. So if you need help to find that, just let me know. But you want to be sure it's yellow mung dal and then the green mung dal. And this green mung dal is organic. As much as you can, use organic ingredients to get the most out of your food and your nutrition. And if you're using green mung dal, you need to definitely soak this overnight. The yellow mung dal, if you forgot to soak it overnight, that's okay. You could even just soak it for an hour or 2 hours before you cook. Or you can even cook it without soaking it, but soaking it is better. But the whole green mung, you definitely have to soak that overnight and give it a few washes. You could soak your rice separately or even together, as you do with the yellow mung dal and rice. And then the same procedure really as we did for this Kitchari, the same spices, the same way we cooked everything. Okay, so I'll put you on pause again, and then I'll show you at the end how it comes out. Okay, so here we are. We've come to the end of the cooking, and you can see we've made a nice, more soupy Kitchari. So there's like a nice soft consistency. Which on the detox we want to have food a little bit more liquidy, so that's good. If you got bored of having it liquidy all the time, you could do a drier Kitchari where you put less water in it. It becomes more firm, even a bit like when you have cooked rice. So you could have that sometimes, but if you were going to have the more firm Kitchari, have it with like a bowl of vegetable soup alongside it, so you've still got that liquid content in your food. But I would have this with some sautéed vegetables or some steamed vegetables. Or if I was having a more dry version, I'd have it with a vegetable soup. So that's how you want to have it. And what I'm going to do, just to finish off, I'm going to put a squeeze of lemon. Nice bit of lemon in there. Give that a good stir. And then we can put some in our bowl. And then just to make it nice at the end, you can put a sprinkle of coriander on top. So you have this lovely bowl of really nice healing Kitchari as your detox program. So enjoy, and hope it all goes well on your detox. Take care.